We're good. Every year, college students make the
Poor decisions.
of excessively drinking, devastating the lives of thousands of college students each year, which can have lifelong detrimental impacts. This isn't a rare tragedy either. It impacts millions of people because according to the Center for Disease and Control and Prevention, excessive alcohol use claims 95,000 lives annually, making it the third leading preventable cause of death in the United States. This crisis has an impact on issues such as academics, health, and mental well-being. Academically, alcohol is a silent thief of success. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism reports that 1 in 4 students say drinking has harmed their studies, whether through missed classes, late assignments, or poor exam performance. They also report that binge drinkers are 5 times more likely to skip class and 6 times more likely to struggle academically due to drinking. Health risks are equally staggering. The CDC attributes alcohol to 95,000 preventable deaths each year. It also highlights its role in chronic illnesses, including liver disease, cardiovascular issues, and weakened immunity. Mentally, alcohol use amplifies vulnerabilities. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, binge drinkers are 2 times as likely to experience depression. Anxiety and suicidal thoughts are also very exacerbated, compounding the mental health crisis that many students already face. Now, for the more tangible issues: finance, property, and legal issues. Financially, alcohol creates a significant burden. The CDC estimates that alcohol misuse costs the U.S. economy $249 billion annually, primarily from binge drinking. For individual students, this often translates to medical bills, fines, and lost productivity, which can destabilize their financial futures. Beyond personal consequences, alcohol use often leads to property damage. Over 11% of heavy drinking students admit to damaging dorms, public spaces, or personal property, according to the NIAAA, creating costs that others must absorb. Legally, it remains a very, very pressing issue. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration notes that individuals under 21 account for 12% of alcohol consumption in the United States, leading to arrests, DUIs, and permanent records that are detrimental to their futures. Each of these statistics illustrates the pressing issue of alcohol's widespread harm. Addressing this issue requires structural change. So, this begs the bigger question. In 21st century America, what steps can the federal government take to mitigate alcohol's negative impacts on college communities?
Thank you, Christian. Now, in order to negate the alcohol in college communities, we wanted to look back in American history for our solutions. Now, more specifically, the 1920s to 1930s. This is the period of Prohibition and the Temperance era. So, Prohibition, just a little bit of common knowledge, that was the ban on the sale and importation of alcohol. This is a very radical idea, however, it does have its pros and cons that are both beneficial. Now, colleges and zero alcohol. So, zero alcohol, automatically you are able to lower parties and make it nearly impossible for students to get alcohol and do anything, drinking, any of that. Now, along with zero alcohol, student productivity goes way up. We're talking grades, we're talking your sister maybe going on the dean's list, president's list. That's not bad. However, some of the cons, the massive disapproval, and its proclivity to protest. All right, colleges are known for, throughout history, being very prone to protest. That's why I use that word. But protest is a very bad thing that we don't want. However, throughout history, there has been groups going back to Prohibition where they have fought against alcohol. More specifically, women and Christians. I don't know why this slideshow is not updated. I'm not sure if it's wrong, but there's supposed to be a graph right here that I have my numbers memorized, so that's all right. Christians in the United States from 1950 to 2020 have gone down from 91% to 68%, versus atheists from 1950 being at a staggering 2% up to 22%. So, if alcohol was overturned back then, how are we going to be able to reinstate it now with even less of a Christian following? So, once again, all that being said, it would be very hard for us to repass prohibition. So maybe we ought to look at something that's a little less radical.
Our second solution is a more moderate approach, which is to implement a higher alcohol tax. According to Adam Hoffer, the director of excise tax policy at taxfoundation.org, alcohol is already one of the most heavily taxed items in the United States, but that doesn't seem to stop people from drinking. In particular, why do college students buy so much alcohol when it already costs so much? If we were to increase the tax on alcohol, it would be an incentive for college students to stop drinking. Some pros of this would be that there would be less drinking on college campuses, obviously, and you would be saving students the little money that they already have. However, there would be some cons to this solution. For example, this would be a huge loss for the alcohol companies, as they would be losing some customers who pay for their products. Additionally, we would be punishing those who haven't done anything wrong, like, for example, those who are of the proper age to drink and drink inappropriate amounts, who would be punished for the actions of others. Also, what if students just decide to spend more money on alcohol? This would lead to two problems. There would be the same amount of drinking, which is what we're trying to solve, and they would be spending the little money that they already have. With their brains not fully developed, we cannot trust that college students will make the best decisions regarding financial and physical well-being.
To address the problems that arise from reinstating prohibition or raising a tax on alcohol, our final and recommended solution is to raise the drinking age to 25. But what makes this a better solution than the prior two? Well, according to the National Institute of Health, the human brain is fully developed at 25 years old, meaning this solution is optimized to prevent college students who are in the prime of their academic careers from falling victim to developmental issues later on in life because of their alcohol use. The solution also specifically targets the youngest fraction of drinkers in America rather than all of them, which prohibition and raising the tax would do. This makes it less economically impactful, as alcohol companies will only lose the business of the youngest fraction rather than the entire country. Additionally, there's already real-world evidence to suggest that this solution has merit. In 1984, Congress passed the National Minimum Drinking Age Act, which raised the drinking age in all states to 21. And the National Journal of Studies on Alcohol also reported that in 1980, the drinking rates for those aged 16 to 18 were 72%, which when compared to the 2024 Responsibility.org survey, which found that only 42% of high school seniors reported drinking, shows that from the time before the drinking rate was raised to the time after, the drinking rate in that age of people went down about 30%. If that happens with high school age students, there's no reason to believe that that would not happen with college students. As the drinking age exits college, people would also be less socially inclined to drink and not be expected to drink. While this solution has merit, it's not without its drawbacks. It still requires a large amount of legislative agreement and public backing, and backlash may arise as questions about financial impact and the relationship between the legal drinking age and the legal age of adulthood are raised. But it still requires less legislative agreement and has less financial impact than it would to reinstate prohibition or raise the alcohol tax. Even if it is passed, however, if college students are already breaking the law by drinking below the legal drinking age, then they might still break the law even if it gets raised. But regardless, it's still a problem and ruins the lives of many every year. Something must be done. This solution to raise the drinking age will help students and their will help students mitigate the negative effects that alcohol can have on their lives and prevent them from making
Poor decisions. Thank you.